Joining us now, the Associate Director of Common Ground Montgomery, Kevin King, is with us, who is launching a new nonprofit called The King's Canvas. It offers classes in an art gallery kind of setting, but it's not a painting class. Good morning. Tell us how you got started with this and what is the goal?
All right, the goal is to provide exposure to underdeveloped and underexposed artists in West Montgomery, Alabama. So I got involved in it because I realized that since I've been on the art scene in Montgomery, it's exploding. And so since I've been on the art scene, I've gained access to a lot of opportunities in Montgomery. And so as I'm around, I realize that no one from my community has the same type of access. Then as I look around my community, I notice, okay, we don't have any artists in my neighborhood. But we do have artists in my neighborhood, but they don't have a creative space to create, nor do they have the tools that they need in order to effectively create and engage in the arts.
And when you say tools, you're not talking about paintbrushes necessarily. You're also talking about kind of life skills.
Yeah, I'm talking about life skills. I'm talking about entrepreneurial training. I'm talking about financial literacy, but I am physically talking about art tools.
As well.
Because oftentimes people come to me and they say, Mr. Kevin, man, I've been looking at your work. I want to come to your house and paint with you because I think it'll help me with my depression. I think it'll help me deal with life. I think it'll help keep my mind off of my trouble. And that's how the King's Canvas was started, because I looked at it and I said, wait a minute, maybe this is a need. Maybe there needs to be something in our community that's a creative space, a safe space, a creative space for adults and high school students to go so they can just engage in the arts. But it's not, just like you said, it's not just about engaging in the arts, because if you only do the arts and don't necessarily have the entrepreneurial, financial literacy, and life skill development component, it doesn't become a holistic picture. So what I'm trying to do is to bring the arts to West Montgomery in a way that provides a holistic picture for my neighbors.
And now art is certainly, it can be good for your health, it can be good for you in a lot of ways. It can be good for you financially as well, but maybe those life skills you're talking about, if you don't have those, it's hard to translate this art you've created into a way to pay the rent or put a roof over your head or feed your children.
Exactly. So the 5 years I've been doing art, I started it because my wife basically bought me some paint supplies, she and my daughter, for Father's Day, 2013.
Oh, wonderful.
Now, her words to me were, Kevin, I'm officially taking away your excuses for not creating. And it was a rough point in my life. So as I started creating, for about a year, I realized that, man, this is really helping me. So maybe this can help someone else too. But you're absolutely right. If you don't necessarily have a proper life skill foundation, it doesn't really translate well when it comes to just creating and trying to sell your art and just trying to do life. Because even after you put the paintbrush down, you still have to do life, right?
I was talking just yesterday, as a matter of fact, with the director of the Mobile Museum of Art, and he was talking about how it used to be back in the day that you had to have a gallery that sponsored you, and if you didn't have a gallery, you just weren't going to get anywhere.
Yeah.
Nowadays, everything is online,
right?
And anyone can be online and create an environment. Will you do that with yours as well?
Exactly.
This program?
So I've benefited greatly from my art personally, and I'm one of those guys. If a door is open to me, I'm not shutting it behind me. I want to open the door and pull some people in with me. So I would like to teach people how to use just social media as a platform to get their work out there, but sometimes you still do need galleries today. Like right now they have
You
do. They have individual artist grants that they give out, and you don't need a nonprofit in order to get these grants. But oftentimes one of the first questions are, do you have your work hanging in a professional studio, or do you have your work hanging in the art gallery? And if you check no, you can't even complete the application. So the King's Canvas Gallery and Studio is not only a way for them to come in and get these life skills development, but it is for them to take art classes and also to have open studio space and to hang up their work, so when they check that yes on an application, they can complete the rest. And I'm hoping that people will possibly get grants out of that too.
We're going to find out how folks can get involved in this new venture, and we'll talk about that coming up in just a moment. You're watching Your Community This Week, and you're watching it on ABC 32. We're talking about a brand new effort to teach Westside Montgomery teens and adults some life skills connected with art. Kevin King is here with us, and this is really a brand new venture in the sense that you're still putting some of the pieces together here.
Yes,
How can people help?
Okay, so my website is thekingscanvas.org. And you have to put the "the" on the front of it because something else will come up if you don't.
Right.
I have a donate button on there. We are trying to get our space together. We do have a space on Oak Street, but in order to get going, in order to get people in there taking those classes, various classes, we need finances. And so we just, ask people to get involved by clicking the donate button, or you can email me at kevin@thekingscanvas.org, and I could give you the address, the mailing address, so you can mail in a check. But by December, we're trying to raise about $20,000 in order to get into space, do some minor renovations, buy the equipment and supplies that we need in order to start paint classes and life skill development classes by the end of the year.
Let's say, look down the road a piece and give us what you envision what will happen in 5 years. 5 years from now, what will it be like?
Okay, so I'm a visual artist.
Okay.
And so I'm starting with visual art, but I realized just the arts period in West Montgomery are lacking. So in 5 years, I see other components added. I see not only visual arts, but I see performing arts. I see culinary arts. I see my community having access to the arts period in ways that they don't have access to in a broader city. We have talented, creative people in our city, and I believe the world needs to be exposed to their art.
And there are people in artists who are extraordinarily collectible. I mean, in museums around who really have no art training per se. The so-called outsider artists, many of them in Alabama, who create amazing things even though they've never had any training.
Right. And I'm a self-taught artist myself.
There you go.
But I would love to bring not only self-taught artists in, but I have some friends who have gone to school who will be teaching skill and technique twice a week at the King's Canvas. It'll be open studio times twice a week, and we're going to reserve 1 day a week for the financial literacy, life skill development, and entrepreneur training.
Who will teach those classes, the financial literacy and all that? Have you lined that up yet?
I have. I don't want to say yet.
Okay.
I have a local friend. I am partnering with, I'm going to just go ahead and say his name.
Sure.
I've learned a lot from Boyd Stevenson. If
Yes.
you don't know Boyd Stevenson, you really need to get to know that guy. He has an awesome way of teaching entrepreneurship. But the financial literacy, I don't want to let that cat out the bag yet, but we do have some people in mind who will be teaching that.
All right, and I know I've already asked you this, but in case people didn't have a pen or pencil ready to write it down, give us the information about the website address and also perhaps a phone number.
The website is thekingscanvas.org. My email address is kevin@thekingscanvas.org.
And make sure the is in there.
Make sure that the is in there.
Website,
Right.
Or get something else. And I wish you best of luck. I hope that a year from now we can have you back on and you can talk about the progress that you make. Westside needs something like this.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
All right, well, good to do. Thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you.
Well, if you have a topic or a guest suggestion, it's pretty easy to tell us about it. Just grab a pencil and I'll tell you how you can send us that information coming up on your community this week on